Good evening, and welcome to everyone who's joining us on the internet. Anyone run into any gristle this last 2 weeks? Well, remember I said that it isn't that what you've been given is really tough to chew. It's just that it's not the bite you want to chew yet. And that's a key point. You see, are you willing to have healing? Or do you still have some investment in, quote, getting even? Are you ready to have healing, or is there some unfinished business for you to take care of? As you know, in the Bible, it says that I said to a number of my disciples at the beginning, "Follow thou me." And they said, in so many words, "Well, I'll be happy to, but if someone in the family has died and we need to take care of that, and then I will join you, or I have such and such to take care of, and then I will join you." And I said, "Let the dead bury their dead. Follow thou me." You see, it illustrated the need to be willing to put your attention where it is needed, to put your attention where healing will be facilitated, to put your attention where waking up can happen. And it cannot happen with unfinished business being attended to that's part of your dream. It can't happen when you're still trying to fix up part of your illusion. That was the point. You all have experienced now the fact that it's relatively easy, not totally easy, but relatively easy to devote your attention to an improved concept of yourselves. You're willing to give your attention to the idea that there is a place of excellence in you, a place that is utterly divine, that is God presencing Himself right there where you are. And there is a willingness to yield into it, to lean into it, and to begin to depend on the clarity that is forthcoming when you do lean into it. As I said, this still isn't easy for you, but you're engaged in it. And in engaging in it, you gain experience, ease develops. You become more comfortable in this apparently unknown new territory for you, even though I've pointed out that you're coming back into your original territory, your natural being. Now, we have found out that that's not all there is to it, because you also need to develop the ability to lean into the place of excellence in your brothers and sisters. that you need to be willing to see that there is a place of excellence in them and give your attention to that rather than whatever ignorances they are expressing. What happens when you do that? Oh, all kinds of justifications come up, don't they? As to why you shouldn't or can't yet. Because you have some things to attend to with them. You have some issues of justice to attend to first, right? Or, well, why should I give that much to them when no one else is giving half that to me? Justice, justice, justice is what it boils down to. And you want to exact the evidence of justice from them or from the situation. You want to get satisfaction first. Thank God that God doesn't respond to you that way. Thank God that I don't. Thank God that the Holy Spirit doesn't. Thank God that your guides don't. Because then you would be truly lost. What's another? Oh, well, I'm coming along fairly well, giving myself the benefit of the doubt. I'm coming along fairly well in honoring myself in a new way by leaning into the Holy Spirit in me. And it's not easy. And now you want me, at the same time that I'm having some difficulty in experiencing myself in a new way, to extend this to another who I'm even less inclined to extend anything to. You're pressuring me. You're moving me too fast. Hell, we've been talking for 2.5 years and we've only gotten 203 pages. You're being rushed. See, it's the gristle, it's the little bit of a bite that you don't want to chew yet. But the bite is filet mignon, perfectamente. That's what the bite is. This section is called the answer to prayer. The answer to prayer is a miracle, a sudden shift of perception, healing. Do you want healing? Then you must give healing. And although you might be inclined to more easily be open to being the agent for change for your pet who is ill, or for a favorite plant in your house, I am encouraging you to go to the place where you're least inclined to give healing, and that is to your brother and sister? Because you use your brother and sister as the justification for not having healing. You don't use your favorite plant as a justification for not having healing. You see what I mean? The only place you have difficulty is where? In relationships. You can turn to the Holy Spirit for healing, and you can turn to the Father. You can turn to me. And in our relationship, you can experience healing. But I'm going to tell you, the healing won't be permanent as long as you're justifying not extending it to someone else. Because that's the way you make it your own. That's the way you embody it. Let's go to the book. In the previous paragraph, we were speaking about believing in your brothers. Now, continuing, to disbelieve in your brothers or sisters is to side against or to attack. To believe is to accept and to side with. To believe is not to be credulous, but to accept and appreciate. In other words, to believe is not to be stupid, is not to believe everything a brother or a sister says, is not to be ridiculous. It's something else entirely. To believe is not to be credulous, but to accept and appreciate. Accept and appreciate. If you had a situation like you've had this past week, where many died, and if, as they were this past week, their bodies were strewn around, you would walk through them listening for a sound. Here's a live one. This one's breathing. You would look for the signs of life, and you would respond there. Now, to believe is to accept and to side with. What are we talking about accepting? We're not talking about accepting bad behavior. We're not talking about accepting expressions of self that are based upon and ignorance of what that one truly is, which cause his expressions to be unkind or unlovely. We're talking about recognizing signs of life where that one is, and awkward and inarticulate expressions coming out of one's mouth, hateful expressions, spewing forth, are, if nothing else, a sign of life, right? So here is a live one. You get it? And you accept this live one as being, as existing. And you side with that one's existence, that one's presence, no matter how he or she is demonstrating that presence, with bad behavior or good behavior, kindness or unkindness. To believe is to accept and to side with, join with, identify with. You exist, they exist, you have something in common. You can join with them. To believe is not to be credulous, but to accept and appreciate. Accept and appreciate what? The signs of life. If they are alive, if they exist, if there is something you can identify with in those very basic terms, then you have the means to be aware of the fact that whatever is true about you that has been revealed to you and which you have been able to incorporate and identify with yourself is true about them. If there is a place of excellence in you, because there's a sign of life there, life is there, and that place and the place of excellence is there. And if that place of excellence in them is the Holy Spirit, just as it is in you, then no matter how they are expressing themselves presently, you have a line of communication that can be activated. And so you choose to activate it. Continuing, what you do not believe, you do not appreciate. And you cannot be grateful for what you do not value. It's very practical. If you look at a brother and you cannot appreciate him, you cannot value him. If you do not value him, you will find him unworthy of extending the acknowledgement of the truth. You will find him unworthy to hang in there with, to be present with, to be involved with. What you do not believe, you do not appreciate, and you cannot be grateful for what you do not value. There is a price you will pay for judgment, because judgment is the setting of a price. And here's the hooker: as you set it, you will pay it. Judgment is the setting of a price. You just never express a judgment for no reason. You express judgment, as we discussed last week, for the purpose of confusing and overwhelming your brother, to put him off balance. You make judgments so as to cause that one to lose any confidence he may have in himself, so that he is unable to authoritatively stand up for himself, and you are in a better position to influence him or to get from him what you want. Maybe you just want the brother to go away and leave you alone. You see, it isn't always that you will want his agreement, but you will want something, and so you bring judgment into play. But there's a more fundamental reason for expressing judgment, and that is that the circumstances with your brother or sister have brought you to the end of your rope. Up until now, you've been able to cope pretty well. You've been able to be positively oriented with that one. You have given and given and given and given. And something has happened that was, quote, the straw that broke the camel's back, unquote. And now you've had it. Now you don't know what to do. Whatever the straw was that broke the camel's back has put you at a loss. And you feel incapable of continuing to make the gift. You feel incapable of making the gift because you find yourself at a loss. You don't know what to do. And so you say, this one is a stubborn one. Nothing that I do is heard. Nothing that I say is heard, and nothing that I do is valued. I persist and I persist and I persist, and they come up with one more thing. But you see, now you're talking about them. You've shifted, and it's them out there, and you're characterizing them, and all of this characterization is doing only one thing. It's covering up the fact that you don't want to acknowledge that you don't know what to do now. So you're really at a wonderful point. I don't know what to do, Father. Oh, now we're doing something different from them out there and their stubbornness, and maybe they're just not capable of learning, or they love their problems too much. I'm never going to be able to get through to them. It's all them. Father, I'm at a loss here. I don't know what to do. I've carried it as far as I can. And you know what? I thought I was listening to you, and I thought I was sharing with them what you were leading me to say, and I thought I was being the presence of love, and I thought I was doing it well, but it hasn't worked. It's not working. And I'm exhausted. I give up on them. I can't do it. If you're exhausted, it means you've been doing too much all by yourself, even though you've included God along the way. Because it's at exactly this point where what you're presented with seems to go beyond your capacity, that you stand at the edge of the pregnant void. This wonderful place where you are actually primed for insight or even revelation, if you will abandon the last vestiges of control that you were trying to bring into play, of course, beneficently, because you have an object of your affection. You're at a point where you truly need inspiration, where you truly need to yield even further into that place of excellence in you, the Holy Spirit. Why? Because you deserve to be healed of the experience of emptiness. You need to be healed of seeming to be overwhelmed yourself. You need to be healed of an apparent incapacity to be the presence of love further, you see. So here's where, instead of backing out and blaming them and characterizing them in the most ferocious terms, this is where you need to take a deep breath, stop the judgment, and let go further into God. Let go further into the place of excellence in you, in which love is inexhaustible because of the inexhaustible nature of its source, which is the Father. You see, when you abandon being the presence of love because you feel exhausted and at a loss, you lash out and you point the finger, and it's their fault, but you won't tell them what the fault was. You won't tell them that they pushed you to the edge of your known capacity for being the presence of love, and that you're scared to yield further. And so you set a price by engaging in judgment, and you're going to exact from them something that will make up for all that you've done and that will make up for the fact that they haven't received it all and the fact that they've pushed you to a place where you are experiencing the discomfort of not knowing what to do next, even though you have been pushed to the threshold of inspiration. Even though you have been pushed to the threshold of a greatly expanded experience of your function. If paying the setting of a price, if paying is equated with getting, you will set the price low, but demand a high return. You want a lot for a little. The ego wants a lot for a little. You will have forgotten, however, that your return is in proportion to your judgment of worth.